Blighty Boxing, association with Frank Warren and Queensbury Promotions, joined by an old friend, Haroon Headley, who's looking, I might say, very distinguished these days. He's taking on the grey with some distinction.
Holding my silverback. Yeah, I'm holding that silver fox, yeah?
Right, anyway, let's get to the point. I mean, you're down here in Essex. Tunde Ajayi's doing something with Anthony Yard. Explain to people the connection now between you and Tunde, and also how it came about.
I first met Tunde a few years ago. I think it was Anthony's debut, I'm sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, when he first bought outside the copper box, and you know, we were up there with another fighter at the time. I think it was Vijinda Singh we were there with, you know, when I was in the other team. So I got talking to Tunde then, and we just connected, you know, kept talking, social media. Then obviously it turned to WhatsApp, phone calls, you know, over the years, you know, and he's always offered me good support and advice when I was doing my thing. And I've always admired what he'd actually done with Yade. You know, he took him from the amateur circuit. I'm not really winning anything major on the circuit, you know, compared to what's, you know, coming through at the minute, and he's took him to a world title. So he understands the navigation and the correct routes to go with a fighter safely. So obviously I was waiting for the right fighter to come through to work with him with, you know, and obviously I've got Amin Janza, and you know, I thought, you know what, this would work. Amin became a free agent, so I said to him, you know, why don't you speak to Tunde? You know, so we got a three-way call going on, and it just connected. It was easy. Nothing was forced. Since then, Raza came back to Manchester. He's come under the same management of Tunde, and I've just kind of like, I wouldn't say employed by it, but you know, I'm inspired by it, and that's where I've kind of gone the route with Tunde. You know, he always solid advice on the phone, you know, and good leadership. So you know, we've kind of gone there and figured it out that way. So here we are, you know.
So on an official level, it's kind of like a management tie-up for your fighters.
You know, but it's keeping it old school. You know, you know, you'd appreciate that managers and trainers were very close years ago. You know, they had them close relationships. Even some of the small hall promoters in the likes of the Jack Trickett's, you know, and the Jack Doherty's, you know, the people like that, the relationship, they came into the gym. They paid attention to what was going on. And that's the type of management we get from Tunde. You know, we might be unaware in Manchester, but he's on the phone. He wants to be on the video calls, you know. When the sparring's going on, he pays a great interest, and the lads love that. And for me, it's like, I trust this man that he's going to make the right decisions for my fighters, and he's going to make the right decision for me as a trainer, and you know, not leave me high and dry, which a lot of managers do to some trainers when they want the big deals for themselves with the promoter. You know, it's a business. I get it. I get the industry, and I've had to make them mistakes to learn now. Well, now get it. So it's wholesome in that way, you know what I mean? So, you know, we're in a great place.
Since branching out on your own some years ago now, fair to say, you've had your ups and downs, haven't you? You've had to, the financial commitment's one thing, but you've had to move around. Don't want to rake over old coals, but you had Jack Catterall, who was definitely on a trajectory to the top, and still is.
Yeah, he is.
And you would have seen him as your money fighter who could have maybe paid the rent. It's difficult, isn't it?
You know what he's saying? There's the highs and lows, but I'm 42 years old. You know, I've been in pro boxing now. This is my 9th year. You know, before I was in the amateur circuits, but this is my 9th year as a pro trainer, and I've been around the block a few times. That's all armour. That's all armour, because it's a marathon. It takes the time. In the beginning days, I thought it was all a sprint. Everything had to happen now, but it doesn't. Take your time. You know, take your time, and everything will happen when it's meant to happen. And with the likes of Jack, massive talent. He'll go on. He's got his opportunity to fight for a title. But I played a part in that journey. Now he's with Jamie Moore. Jamie's a good friend of mine. So, you know, fantastic. They'll move on and go and do great things. And, you know, I'm always going to shout for him, regardless of if he's with me or not, because that's a genuine feeling I have for the young man, you know what I mean? But in regards to, say, the gyms and stuff, or you have to have your own gym to be established training, you have to, but really, if it's not financially making sense for you, then why do you need to have that burden? Because it can finish you. Like, you know, I remember a time, my own gym in Trafford Park.
It was important to you at the time, wasn't it?
And 10 fighters in there, me one. No, it's just me on my own, doing what I'm doing. And I remember organising a show and doing a show with Jason McCrory and Andy Alien at the same time at Trafford Bowlers, where I had fighters on there, and at the same time prepping for the British title fight with Jack Carroll versus Tyrone Nurse in Leeds. And we did all that in the October, and everything was successful. But with success, there has to come falls in business, isn't there? And this is where I've had to learn the hard way. Like now, you know, I took myself back after I lost my gym, and I'm back in Northside Gym. Joe Pennington was my amateur trainer when I was a youngster. I've got a set of keys. We respect the gym. Anything that I get, I'll always donate into the gym. I help with some of the amateurs coming through, and I've got my pros in there, and it's easy. it's calm, it's easy, and I'm able to enjoy just focusing on the craft and giving the fighters what they actually need, rather than the politics. He's saying this, they're not liking this, they're doing. I don't get involved. Boxing.
It's experience you've got now, isn't it? I mean, I seem to remember having these conversations with you a couple of years ago. It's just saying, focus on what you're doing. That's what's going to get you established, you know. And you're doing the business again now. So.
Yeah, and you know what? It's now I come back and it's a whole different approach, mindset, and it's all positive. And you know, the task at hand, I know it. And you know, we'll get it done, and you know, I believe that the two featherweights I have are the two best featherweights in this country. And time will tell. You know, the fights will get made, and they will prove their worth, and we'll move on.
Just looking back, you went back to Champs Camp for a little while, didn't you? It must have been a nostalgic little thing for a while.
The whole nostalgia, homecoming, thinking it was going to be the same place I walked into as an 11-year-old with Phil Martin at the top of the stairs, but there's changed. You know.
The expectations too high.
The gym died with the man, and it hurts to say that, but everything that used to happen back then when Phil was alive, slowly but surely, it's all been lost. And you know, here we are. You know what I mean? So, but I always will have a heartfelt place for the place.
I'm glad you tried it, aren't you?
I tried, but there's too much politics, and this is why there's nothing going on there. And you know, I'm honest. People can get annoyed and say, oh, we don't like that, it's so nice, but I did try. And for a year I gave it my all in there, and I was always facing the same brick wall that the people like the Joe Gallaghers had faced themselves. You know, and Joe's a fantastic world-class trainer, and he's proven. But he tried in there, and he hit the same walls. So, you know, who am I then in regards to that, you know? So,
just finally, Haroon, talk to me about your two boys. Like you say, two featherweights. Amin Jahanzeb, who's 7-0 from Bradford, and obviously Raza, who's had 15 fights from Birmingham. So automatically you've got, you know, sort of major cities, none of which are Manchester. They both travel, you know, make the sacrifice to come and work with you.
Yeah.
You know, what can we expect from Amin? I mean, we've seen more of Raza, but what can we expect from Amin?
You know, what you're going to expect from Amin is everything naturally done. He's a fantastic talent, fantastic natural talent, and I'd say he's one of the best fighters I've actually worked with. He gets it. He's like a sponge for information, perfectionist. You know, he'll message me and beat himself up over, I've not thrown that jab correctly in that video, watching it back. There's stuff like that, and it's fantastic because I have a student with no ego, and he wants to learn and he wants to be amazing. And listen, without naming names of who we sparred, we've been up and down the country and we've sparred top 10 featherweights in the country, and they are highly rated. But like I said, now we've got the platform, he'll go on there and he'll show his worth, you know what I mean? And what you're getting as well is like, they're not the usual run-of-the-mill routine type of fighter, or I've had a top training camp, you know, this is going to be my stage. He's an entertainer as well. So you're going to get that, you know, and that's what will make people thirsty for more, you know what I mean? So I'm going to let his actions do the work, and we're just going to work harder than everybody else in that gym.
Now you get Razza fired up again, haven't you?
Well, Raz has come in, the pace is high, and he's come straight. Raz is a fantastic talent too. And with Razza, he's had a lot of setbacks. So now when I said to him, when he come back to Manchester, I said, now is the time. No more regrets. We've got to do it. If you're not going to do it this way, you're not going to do it properly, don't waste my time.
It's kind of landed for you now, hasn't it, Haroon? It's kind of your ideal, sort of two hungry, young, talented, unbeaten boxers mixed in with a couple of amateurs. You're kind of developing the ideal setup now.
Well, like I say, there's 4 15-year-olds to work with. One of them's my son, and they're coming through under these guys, and they're able to mix with the pros and learn off them. Especially, you know, this isolation and this the COVID whole situation. It's been perfect for the youngsters because they've spent all the time in the day in the gym with the pros. So, you know, what would you have done as that for a young fighter? I don't know. Broke the hand off for that as a kid myself, you know, going back.
Back to school soon, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Next week. I say they've had me as Benson and Jeffrey in the house. I said, oh, it's not happening no more. Yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Haroon, it's great to catch up. Good luck with Amin next week, or the 12th of September. And obviously, well done for everything, the way you've shaped up your gym and got it moving again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.